Okay, here it is. Here is our final section. Dun, 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 dun. This is section 4.4. This is division of polynomials. It is a strange thing to have right here. I get it. It is a little out of scope of the other things we've been doing lately, and it's also something you did in 095 if you took 095, but it is added in here because we all need it. So what we do when we divide polynomials are three different kinds of things. We divide first a polynomial by a monomial. It means divide a polynomial by a single term. First, remember how we add and subtract polynomial or fractions just generally. If we do a plus b over c, we can separate it into a over c plus b over c. Excuse me, and vice versa. Or we can do the same with subtraction, but remember the denominator has to be the same, okay? So if I think about this, and I think about that rule we just saw, basically what it says to me is that I can take this polynomial, 3x to the fourth minus 6x cubed plus 9x, and I can make three different fractions, all with the same denominator. This is sort of a sneaky way to get rid of the issue of simplifying, okay? Then what I can do is I can simplify what I see. So I'm going to simplify one fraction at a time. This 3x cancels, this 3x cancels. I'm left with x cubed. This turns into a 2, and I have x squared left. This turns into a 3, and the x's cancel. So what I'm left with is x cubed minus 2x squared plus 3. Okay? You have to separate them out to divide. You have to understand that that's how that works. Let us try another one. Let's see. Looks the same, just a different way of writing the same thing, right? So I'm going to rewrite this as a fraction, 10c cubed d over negative 5c squared d squared minus 15c squared d squared over negative 5c squared d squared plus 2cd cubed divided by negative 5c squared d squared. Now I'm going to simplify just like I just did. Okay, so let's see. That guy becomes negative 2. I'm left with a c, and I'm left with a d, but the d is on the bottom. Okay, minus, well, let's see, minus minus makes plus. So those become a 3. Those cancel, plus 3 minus, because that negative, the 2 and the 5 I have to keep because they don't simplify. That c leaves a c in the bottom. Those d's leave a d in the top. So d on top, c in the bottom. So in this case, it's not pretty, but it's simplified. And that's what I'm trying to do here, okay? I can't combine all these together in one fraction. The denominators are all different. I'm not even going to try to. That's okay. All right. You try these two for practice. Number one's answer should be 3y squared minus y minus 2. The answer in number 2 is 3a squared b plus 2ab squared minus 1. Okay. See if you can make that work, because from here it gets a little more complicated. So we are going to use long division first. The thing about division with polynomials is when we divide by a monomial up here, we're dividing by a single something. Okay, there's no plus or minus there. The minute we get a plus or a minus here in what we're dividing into, or we're dividing by, I have to either use long division or the second method, and it depends on what I have. Okay, and we'll look at that. So long division sets up just like it always has. So I have x minus 2. I'm going to write what I have in here, 3x squared minus 14x minus 10. Here's the thing. You must look at this polynomial first. It must be in standard form. If it's not in standard form, you have to put in placeholders. Okay, we'll talk about that in a second, but because that's going to happen. What I'm going to look at is how do I turn this x into a 3x squared? Well, I would need to multiply by 3, and I need another x. So what I do is I multiply. I'm going to do minus 3 times, or 3x times x is 3x squared. 3x times negative 2 is minus 6x. This becomes a minus, that becomes a plus. Okay, so 3x squared minus 3x cancels. Negative 14x plus 6x is minus 8x. Bring down the negative 10. This you should have seen before, okay? This shouldn't be totally new. Now I want to turn negative 8, I want to turn this x into negative 8x. So what do I do to do that? Well, I have to multiply x by negative 8. So minus 8. And then I'm going to distribute just like I just did. So x times negative 8 gives me negative 8x. Remember, I'm subtracting the whole thing. Negative 8 times negative 2 is plus 16. Okay, so I'm going to distribute my negative. That becomes a plus. That becomes a minus. These guys cancel. This becomes minus 26. So my answer is what I got up here, which is 3x minus 8. And then my remainder. So in this case, it's minus 26 divided by whatever I divided by, x minus 2. That's it. Try another one, okay? See if you can do this one on your own. The final answer here should be 4x minus 6 plus 10 over x plus 3 is the remainder. See if you can follow the same process. And if you have to watch it a couple of times, that's okay, okay? We can also use long division when we have a number here in front of x, okay? Notice my polynomial here, though, is not in standard form because I have x cubed, x squared. I have no x term, and I need it, okay? So I'm going to rewrite it with a placeholder. And what my placeholder is going to be is just 0, but I need it to be in the order. So I'm going to put my divisor outside, 2x minus 4 minus 2x cubed minus 10x squared plus 0x plus 56. Then I'm set up. So now I'm going to go term by term, just like I did before. How do I turn 2x into negative 2x cubed? Well, I'm going to multiply by, I already have the 2 negative x squared, right? So now I'm going to distribute. I'm subtracting. Negative x squared times 2x gives me minus 2x cubed. Negative x squared minus times negative 4 gets me plus 4x squared. Then I'm going to switch my signs because I'm going to distribute that. So that becomes a plus. That becomes a minus. These guys cancel. Negative 10x squared minus 4x squared is minus 14x squared. Bring down my 0x. Okay. Next step. How do I turn 2x into negative 14x squared? Well, I multiply by, let's see, minus 7x. Then I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to distribute. So minus 7x times 2x is minus 14x squared. Minus 7x times negative 4 is plus 28x. I'm going to swap my signs again, just like I did last time. That gets distributed, so this becomes a plus, this becomes a minus. Those guys cancel, and I get minus 28x. Bring down my 56. All right, one last time through. So now, how do I turn a 2x into a negative 28? I'm going to multiply by negative 14. All right, so I'm going to distribute, just like I did. Minus 14 times 2x gets me negative 28x. Minus 14 times minus 4 gets me positive 56. I'm going to distribute my negative. So this becomes a plus, this becomes a minus, and you know what happens? I get no remainder. Ta-da! All right, so my answer is what's here. The division gives me negative x squared minus 7x minus 14. All right. You try another one. This one works the same way. It's just set up a little different. But remember, standard form first. So it would be 2y plus 2 on the outside. 4y cubed plus 0y squared minus 2y plus 2. Then do the division. When you get done, you should get 2y squared minus 2y plus 1. All right, let's try another. This one looks even a little different, okay? Because I have to put this in the right form and I have to put my divisor in the right form. So applies in both places. So I'm going to first write out my divisor. I'm going to do 3x squared plus 0x minus 4. And the dividend is, let's see, 9x to the 4th. They have to go in order. Plus 15x cubed plus 0x squared. I don't have any of those. Minus 4x minus 5. Okay. And now I'm going to divide. So I want to turn 3x squared into 9x to the 4th. I'm going to multiply by 3x squared. And then I'm going to distribute to each term. So minus 9x to the 4th. Times 0 just gives me 0x cubed. Minus times negative 4 gets me minus 12x squared. I'm going to change my signs, right? Distribute, distribute, distribute. So that's going to be minus, minus, plus. These guys cancel. The 15 is just going to come down, 15x cubed. And then plus 12x squared. Bring down the 4x, minus 4x. And do it again, okay? All right, so I need to turn 3x squared into 15x cubed. So let's see, let's use plus 5x, right? Distribute just like I did. So this gets me 15x cubed plus 0x squared minus 20x. All right, distribute my negative. So minus, minus, plus. These guys cancel. That just comes down, 12x squared. These guys become negative 4 and positive 20 makes positive 16x. Bring down the 5. Okay. And then one last time. All right, so let's see. I need to turn 3x squared into 12x squared. So that's plus 4. Distribute my 4. So I'm going to get 12x squared plus 0x's minus 16. Change my signs. Minus, minus, plus. Cancels. I get 16x plus 11. Now here's the thing. I have no extra term to bring down at that point. I can't turn a 3x squared into a 16x by multiplication. That doesn't work. So at this point, I am finished. So my answer here is going to be 3x squared plus 5x plus 4 remainder plus 16x plus 11 over 3x squared minus 4. That's it. All right. You try one more of those, and then we're on to the last method. So standard form once again. Try them. When you get this one finished, you should get x plus 2. That's a plus. Plus negative 1. Oops, sorry. X plus 2 plus negative x minus 1 over x squared plus 1. Okay, that is what that turns out to be. All right, the last method in here is called synthetic division. The thing is with some, oh, this should be 5x plus 4x cubed minus 6 plus x to the 4th. The rule about standard form is the same here, but the only time you are allowed to use synthetic division, which is lovely and you're going to like, is when what you're dividing by is a plain variable plus a plain number. So some sort of x, not squared, not anything else, plus or minus 3, plus or minus 2, plus or minus whatever, okay? Some sort of single variable plus or minus some number. If it's in any other form, if there's an x squared, if there are 3 terms, if there's a number in front of x, synthetic division doesn't work. Okay, first thing, standard form. So I have 4x cubed, oh, I have x to the 4th, plus 4x cubed, plus 0x squared, plus 5x, minus 6. Here's how this goes. I ignore the variables, okay? I simply look at the coefficients. So I'm going to list them in order. 1, 4, 0, 5, negative 6. I'm going to draw myself a little box. I'm going to put the opposite sign of what my what I'm dividing by out here. Okay? So far, so good. The first thing I do is bring that number down, 1. Works the same every time. Then I'm going to say negative 3 times 1 is negative 3. Okay? So far? 4 minus 3 is 1. Then I'm going to say negative 3 times 1 is negative 3. 0 minus 3 is negative 3. Okay? Now, negative 3 times negative 3 is 9. 5 plus 9 is 14. Negative 3 times 14 gives me negative 42. Those add together to negative 48. Now, what does all that mean? This is my answer. So my answer starts with this number, and that's the coefficient, and it's 1 degree less than my original. So my original was x to the 4th. This is going to be x to the 3rd. So x to the 3rd plus x squared minus 3x plus 14 plus negative 48 over x plus 3. Okay? It's a little strange, isn't it? This is how it goes. You're going to try one. You try this one. Okay? Go back and look at that example. Try it again. The final answer you should get is 2y squared minus y minus 1 plus negative 2 over x plus 3. So your bottom row of your division should be 2, negative 1, negative 1, negative 2. This is negative 3 out here. Okay? All right, let's try one more. This one's a little strange. So I can use synthetic division because of the way it's set up, but I need standard form. So this is p to the 4th plus 0 p to the 3rd plus 0 p squared plus 0 p minus 81. So my synthetic division is going to be 1, 0, 0, 0, minus 81. Draw my box. It's going to be a positive 3. I use the opposite sign. I'm going to draw my 1 down, and then I'm going to start. 3 times 1 is 3. 0 plus 3 is 3. 3 times 3 is 9. 0 plus 9 is 9. 3 times 9 is 27. 0 plus 27 is 27. 3 times 27 is 81. 81 minus 81 is 0. Okay, so now I rewrite. So I was at p to the 4th, so I'm going to start at p to the 3rd. P to the 3rd plus 3p squared plus 9p plus 27. And it's done because there's a 0 at the end. Ta-da! All right, you try this last one. Here's the last example. Works the same way. Final answer should be x squared. Oops. X squared minus x plus 1. All right, this is the end of notes. Ta-da! Don't forget to do the work in this section. Okay, and then we'll move on. Good job.